tariffs are no more coming after the first 5 years of coming into effect of this agreement. So that's a major thing. The second aspect is the issue of market access. I told you that they want us to, they open their market to us 100%. Therefore, they also want us to open our market to them in line with what is in Article 20, GATT Article 24, which says that when you are going into a regional trade agreement like this, you open up your market to substantially all trade.
This obviously has consequences. Many countries in West Africa have therefore been approaching the Economic Partnership Agreement with caution out of the recurring belief that the EPA can be a double-edged sword.
This is not simply a trade negotiation. It's a political negotiation about the future of our economies.
This is because the EPA would definitely have huge implications for the economy and governance of West Africa. The region's political leaders, the ECOWAS Commission and experts have therefore been handling the negotiations with great care. Extensive consultations have been held to consider all the proposed terms in the agreement and their implications, while specialized impact studies have been commissioned using diverse scenarios. Some terms have been agreed upon without any controversy, but 4 critical issues have become quite contentious. These 4 are now referred to as areas of divergence or contentious issues, and they have dragged the negotiations. These are extent of West African market access, opening or liberalization, duration of market access or tariff dismantling calendar, rules of origin, as well as the EPA development program, EPADP, which is to enable West Africa cope with the cost of adjusting to the impending trade regime. Specifically, the EU is proposing a level playing ground with both regions opening up their markets 100% without any tariff charged. West Africa, on the other hand, counter-offered market access of 70% over a 25-year period.
The reason for that threshold is to enable our different sectors to also develop. For instance, there are a number of products that we have comparative advantage to produce. So why do you have to open it to importation from Europe? That means those sectors will die.
West Africa is insisting that certain areas, including the sensitive agriculture and pharmaceutical sectors, would not be opened up to protect the local population and industry.
All agricultural or animal farming businesses, be it cattle rearing, chicken farming or dairy farms, are protected today.
The free market that will be created through increased market access will also lead to substantial loss of revenue by governments in the region, since tariffs will no longer be collected on such imports into their countries. This revenue source is what most governments in the region have traditionally relied upon to fund annual budgets for development. To make up for this loss in the interim, West Africa is saying the EPAs should be accompanied by additional financial resources. This is what is referred to as the EPADP.
The EU people agreed to that principle, and what came out was that if we are going to do that, then we need to be able to assess what will be the needs of each country in West Africa. So that was carried out under a program we call National Operational Plan to determine the needs of each member countries in the region. After the National Operational Plan, we aggregated the total needs of each member states, and it came to 15 billion euro. Unfortunately, the European Union people are saying that they already have existing funds with which they are assisting us. So after they estimated the quantum of the existing funds, it came to about 6.5. So we have that gap in between us. They are saying that they are providing 6.5 billion euro. We said we need 15 billion euro. That has been a big problem between us.
Recurring interventions at all levels of decision-making, including the Ministerial Monitoring Committee, which has been overseeing the negotiation, did not find any consensus on these areas of divergence.
It
is not like before when we used to open a bottle of champagne and sign an agreement, and then 10 years later you realize that you have gone backwards instead of going forward. This time we're being innovative. Yaoundé Lomé agreement had a different approach. Today we have civil society that is involved, the media, the private sector. All the national stakeholders have been involved for the past 10 years. They have been adequately sensitized, they are in touch, their opinions are very diverse, some for, some against. It's good, it's democratic, it's dynamic the way to move forward.
The ECOWAS Parliament, led by its Speaker, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, stepped into the issue by engaging their counterparts in the European Parliament in a bid to provide a bridge to cross over the troubled waters.
We're asking for up to 2016 for this to be signed. So, but they are saying 2014. So if we're able to achieve at least up to 2015, at least we've done well in this respect. But thirdly, we've also introduced another aspect, which is the issue of a free visa regime. Because if you are talking about economic activities, you are talking about economic agreement, then it means therefore there are going to have movement of goods. And you can't have movement of goods without movement of people. So for you to liberalize the movement of goods, you also need to liberalize the movement of people as well. So, but some people find it laughable, but to me it's not laughable. It's not laughable because it's going to be a component of the EPA that will enable both parties, to be able to achieve the ultimate goal of this EPA.
In 2012, the new management of the ECOWAS Commission, led by the President, Ambassador Kadri Ouedraogo, decided to make the revival of the negotiations a priority. Ambassador Ouedraogo, who had previously served as ambassador of Burkina Faso to Belgium, was involved at some level with the process of negotiation while in Brussels. He therefore recognized the value in the EPA and, on assumption of office as president of the ECOWAS Commission, rejuvenated the process. The ECOWAS Commission has since been consulting and convening experts to brainstorm on the areas of divergence to see if some flexibility can be achieved. This is one of such consultations in Accra, and the issues remain as divisive as they've ever been.
From the beginning, the Europeans have their eyes squarely focused on the market access, and this has not moved an inch. Our eyes as a developing region has always and should continue to be on the development issues. It is good that we want to conclude the negotiations, but at what cost are we going to conclude the negotiations? It is important. Our bottom line has to be, we have to have our eyes constantly on our bottom line, because the Europeans are not moving. I want to see a list of issues that they have moved on in the last 3 years.
If we want to give in to something, they must also begin to give in to something. But the whole idea has been that we are always being pushed to give in, and they are not giving in to anything.
The most contentious issue has been the issue of market access. The views of West African experts remain as divergent as they are compelling.
We have to learn from history. When we presented 65 to the European Union, they rejected it. We jumped to 70, they rejected it. As a matter of fact, some of us member countries objected to the sharp movement to 70.
Sur les 70%, ce qui est sûr, c'est que donc ça va affecter.
What is certain is that the opening of our market of 70% will have an impact on the manufacturing sector in our region. Our initial proposal was 65%. We agreed to go up to 70%, so it would be good for the EU to show some flexibility and accept this 70% proposal so we can move forward.
It doesn't matter whether it's 80-20 or 60-70 or 90. To me, really, I mean, access to the EU market, because I'm an exporter of fresh produce. And the question is about reciprocity.